Hello and welcome to Tech Dive AV Club. I'm not Adam, I'm Steven. I barely make videos on this channel, but you know what? I think I have a series of videos on paint.net that I think would be very valuable to this audience because most of this audience is entirely about making YouTube videos, and in the process of making YouTube videos, you should learn how to make some thumbnails and use powerful tools to help you get those clicks and those views. Paint.net is a very powerful free tool. I will link in the description below on where to download it, and I'll also link in the description below where to download the plugin pack that I am using to do all these things in the video. Now let's get started. So for this video, I'm going to show you how to generate text, how to manipulate it and make it look cool, or add effects to it, or make it look more interesting and maybe pop out to the viewer. So the very first thing I do is, once you have paint.net installed and everything, you open it up, and you always, I forget to do this sometimes to this day, you always click this button right here to add a new layer before you do anything else, because if you put text onto the background layer that has this white solid background, you're not able to outline it, you're not able to do anything with it. It is kind of stuck because you want your text to be on its own layer every single time. I recommend putting a layer for every single block of text or transparent PNG or whatever. Every single layer of every single thing in your drawing should pretty much have its own layer, so that way you have maximum control over it if you want to swap something out real quick without having to mess with selecting just one spot. Layers are your friend. You can never use too many layers, I promise. They're free to use them as much as you can. So anyways, for text, it's very simple. You go over here to the left side, click the T, or you press T on your keyboard. You will go up here to your font, pick out your font. My favorite font right now is this one. This is the one that I use for Tech Dive Main and Tech Dive AV Club. I actually think it's in the bottom of this video right now. It's just the one that came with my theme for my Twitch channel. So pick your font size. I'm just going to type text. All right, very simple. Things to note: right clicking lets you drag the text around however you want, not a big problem. Or you can left click on this little arrow pad thing over here. Thing is, once you left click away from it, it is kind of locked in place and you're not able to change the text unless you download a special plugin to edit your text later on. It's really almost easier just to retype the text. So once your text is in the location you want it, I'm gonna go ahead and make mine white text. So I'm actually gonna click this check button right here. The check buttons are visibility check, or visibility toggles rather, and if you click it off, that means that this layer is not visible and everything in that layer is not visible. So keep that in mind as you're working through. You may be like, oh man, where'd that thing go? Be sure to check and make sure that all your boxes are checked if you want to see everything. Alright, so our text is now in place. It is white with no background. It is on its own layer. It is the perfect time to start making it look better. So if you just put plain text in front of a picture, it will show up. However, thumbnails are usually seen on phones or they're seen on a screen, and YouTube really makes them smaller and compresses them. I would almost always, 99.9% of the time, you should outline your text, and you should outline every single object in your thumbnails just to make them pop out and be more visible. And the best way to do that is by outlining them. So click the outline object under the effects tab, and this little menu pops up, and you have your outline width, which goes up to 10 pixels. You have your color, and then you get your hue and your color wheel, so you make it whatever the heck color you want. And on the right side you have your softness. Now this is a matter of personal preference. You can make something very gentle, almost just like a very soft shadow kind of outline, or you can make it very harsh, very bold. This makes it stand up very, very strongly. However, there is aliasing around the edges of this, so it's a balance. I'll make mine right in the middle. Looks good to me. So now our text has an outline. Looks great. So another really good effect that you can do with text is to make it have a shadow. Now, this is a little bit more advanced, so what you need to do, if you want to have a proper shadow where it looks like the text is actually casting a shadow on a surface below it, you need to go down and you need to duplicate your layer that has your text. This will give you an identical layer with the same name, same everything, except you just have two of them. So you go to your effects. I recommend the lower layer. The order of layers matters very much because basically the top layer is the one that you see the most and everything else is below it literally. So go to object, go to object shadow, and of course you see your text in there, but the biggest thing about this is to click keep shadow only. This basically erases the text but casts a shadow. I recommend not too big of a radius, make the strength fairly strong, right? And then you can lower it just a little bit. You want to barely lower this shadow. I'm actually going to reduce my radius just a little bit to make it a little bit closer to the shape of the text. Click OK, and now you have this layer that has a shadow of text right beneath it. Also, this is a great way to make your text really stand out. If you want something to stand out in your thumbnail more than anything else, putting a big dark shadow right behind it will make it pop out to people's eyes. People will see that, they'll click on it, and click-through rates will go up every time you put this in your thumbnails, I promise. Selected. Go to Layers, go to Rotate and Zoom. Now this is a very powerful tool when it comes to layers because this lets you do all kinds of fun, different things. So what I like to do with this to make it really interesting is actually change the top one to 0, the middle one to -90, and the bottom one you can change to whatever you want. I will leave it around, I don't know, let's do 65, sure, whatever, it doesn't really matter too much. And so now it kind of looks like the text is casting a shadow on a surface, but what you need to do is you need to pan using the lower thing to make it line up with the bottom of the text, about as close as you can get it, and zoom, make it just a little bit smaller, and now you have your text casting a shadow on a surface beneath it. You can put this like on a table or any kind of effect you want. So now for the final trick that I have for text is to actually turn the text into an image. And I picked out this wallpaper right here. It's very familiar. It's like the Green Hill, Azure Hill, whatever the heck it's called. Open it up in Paint.net and go ahead and select the whole thing. Doesn't really matter too much. Go back to your text. Use your magic wand tool. Make sure it's set to global flood, which basically selects all of that color in the entire image. You click the white, make sure you have the text selected layer. Then you go to your effects, fill from clipboard. And now we have the image as the background of your text. So what you can do is you can zoom a bit, and then bam. Magically you have what looks like a window of text going into an image. This is really great for thumbnails, a really interesting effect. You can get very, very fancy with this, very advanced. And that's it. Thank you so much for watching. Hope you found this helpful or interesting. Please go below into the description. There's all the download links you need. Tune in next time. I'm going to show you guys how to make transparent backgrounds and do a little more custom thumbnail work. See you next time.